Welcome, friends, on this very special day, the day we celebrate the Bhandara, the day of abundance, the day of abundance of grace from great master Hazur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh Ji, my master, who I call the greatest master, not only great master. Everybody else calls him great master. My experience makes me say the greatest master. He passed away in his physical form on 2nd of April 1948. People thought he died. In his physical body, he actually died. There's no doubt about it. He did not rise from the dead or show any miracles. He died out of an illness. He died of prostate cancer. Dr. Pierre Schmidt and I was homeopathic practitioners. He was also homeopathic practitioner. We were the last ones attending on him when he died. And he died like an ordinary person. He was also born like an ordinary person. Went to school like an ordinary person. Grew up like an ordinary person. Struggled in life like any one of us, ordinary person. Had big problems in his life like all of us. Had an accident by falling from a horse and broke his leg and was in pain like we would have pain if we had an accident. There was no difference in his life, in the physical body, than the life of any one of us. And yet I call him the greatest master. The greatness did not lie in the physical form of that master. The greatness lay in what was inside that physical form. That greatness which was in him is in all of us. I am celebrating this Bhandara. I have done it every year because I know that the inner master never died. He became more alive for me and for many others who were his initiates on the 2nd of April 1948. We never had those great experiences that we had after his body left. We used to think that when Master dies, what will happen? We were so happy to go to the Dera and have his darshan and to enjoy his satsangs and his discourses. And it was natural for us to say, he's old if he passes away. He was close to the age of 90. And we were afraid because he had outlived all the other masters whom we knew, who had all passed away before that age. And he said, he's old, if he goes away, what will happen? Some people even said, we'll commit suicide. We can't stay here if he goes away. And one lady in the Dera actually committed suicide the day he passed away. But we did not realize he did not pass away. He was not the man who initiated us. He was the master who initiated us. The master is not the body. The master lies inside the body. The master is the awareness of our true home, existing in a living human being who comes here in response to our seeking to go back to our true home. I am most grateful to you all for joining me today in celebrating this great day of abundance. He is present all the time for me. I see him every day. But on this day, when my friends join me, like you have all joined me, it's a very special day of blessing for all of us, because he blesses each one of you individually on this day. And that is my experience, and I am the witness to that. Therefore, I congratulate all of you for being present here today on the celebration of this Bhandara of Great Master. It's a very unique day. This kind of blessing I have not seen available anywhere in the world. I have traveled all over this globe, every country I have visited, and I have not seen. I have met so many masters, so many enlightened people, but I have never seen this kind of blessings available. Take advantage of this special day. When we used to go to great master and get prasad from him or blessing from him, we would open our shirt so he can put prasad in that. We didn't have anything else to carry it. The ladies used to open up their dupattas and scarves and get the prasad. And even when there was no visible prasad, they would still open up and say, we are willing to receive. People receive when they are in a receptive mood. We receive when we are ready to receive. Our cups of attention are turned outwards. He is giving from inside. Let us turn the cups inward. Great Master used to give the example how if it is raining and you put a cup upside down, it won't get filled up with the water, no matter how hard it rains. But if you turn the cup around, even little bit, some drops will start going in, and if you make the cup straight towards where the rain comes from, it will get filled up in no time. The same is true of blessings. These blessings come. Today is a great day of great blessings. But the blessings come when we turn our cup to receive those blessings, the cup of our attention. Our attention is all outside. Today, if you want to take full advantage of these blessings, turn the cup inwards from where the blessings are flowing. Great Master is not a human being who died. Great Master is the state of awareness which we all possess. When we say we want to go to our true home, we are trying to get the same state of awareness that the Great Master had. We all have the same thing that he had. None of us has been denied that endowment of our true awareness within ourselves. In a small head on this physical body, while we are living, he has placed that wealth and treasure inside us. When we die, the body carries nothing. The treasure moves where we move. Therefore, while you are in this body, while you have a head on your body containing this wealth and treasure, take advantage of it. Today, I beseech you, take full advantage of this extraordinary day and go and meditate more than usual and ask for the blessings inside and receive them. It's a great day to get this unique experience. I hope you will all take advantage of this. Great Master's teaching is not a teaching. It's a way to realize our own highest truth, our own highest self, our ultimate true home, where we come from, where we ultimately belong to, where the whole universe came from. It's not a teaching. But we call him a great teacher also because our mind wanted to be taught. And he taught us that you do this and that, taught us meditation, taught us a method of repeating words so that we repeat words to replace our thoughts, so that our attention can go within more easily. He taught us how to hear the sound of the self so that our attention can go inside more easily. Taught us how to see him inside so that our attention can go inside. The whole game of the spiritual journey to our true home is nothing but the game of shifting our attention to our own self. And this is not something to escape from an experience we are having. Great Master used to say, his teaching, his method, the path of the masters, Sant Mat, is meant for the brave, not for the weak. You have to be a warrior. He used to use the word. You have to be a warrior to be in this path. Why did he say that? What is the need to be brave and warrior in order to meditate and find yourself? He explained that many of us cannot cope up with the pralabdha, the destiny we are born with, and we try to run away from it. We are cowards. If we cannot face what we designed as an experience of destiny, then that is not a spiritual path at all. That's escapism. People are taking drugs, people are taking alcohol, people are taking various kinds of narcotics, people are taking all these things to escape. That doesn't make it a spiritual path. People are running into the forest. That this is where we will meditate. We can't stand this world. That is not spiritual path. That's escapism. People run to ashrams and say, oh, this is great atmosphere, peace of mind here. This is where we get peace of mind. Yes, you may get peace of mind, not your true home. That's not Santmat. That is not the path of the Masters. The path of the Master says, you should be strong and be warriors and face your life where you have been placed in the middle. Cope up with all the ups and downs of destiny, and then in the middle of it, escape and go back to your home from this network into which you have come. It's not that kind of escape into some other place here. It is to get out of this experience which we generated at the right time and withdraw and go back to something that lies within us. Therefore, he emphasized the importance of being able to be strong, take the ups and downs of life as they are. The love of a master overrides our doubts. We have many doubts. Our mind is doubting all the time. Every little thing that happens, we begin to doubt. Our faith shakes on the smallest things. We say we have unshakable faith. Somebody dies in the family. I couldn't Master save him. I mentioned the first day, somebody has a car accident. Why couldn't the Master save the car? Oh, he saved me, but that's okay. But what about the car? I got a message from somebody that he had a speeding ticket and lost faith. Couldn't he stop it? Is that called faith? Is the faith so conditional that the smallest event that is not suitable to your mind shakes it? That's not faith at all. Faith is that you are strong enough to live your life, deal with all the situations that come, high and low. They're supposed to be high and low. They're supposed to be life like that. Deal with each situation with the best of your ability, with the means given to you. Means given to you of a physical body, sense perceptions, and a mind. Use these to cope up with situations. They are meant to be used. Use all this equipment given to you to cope up with the experiences that are happening outside, and then go within and find the truth. That is the spiritual path as explained by great Master Baba Sawan Singh. It is not running away from anything. It's facing the challenges of life. We have to face them. And if our faith is shaking on little things, we have some way to go still. Then we haven't yet reached the point where we can say we are truly ready to go within. Many of us are sitting here saying, we have been meditating for a long time. Nothing has happened. We have seen nothing. Once in a while, we see some lights and stars, and we see some small colors or something. That's the only spiritual experience we have had. Let me explain to you, they are not spiritual experiences at all. If I knock you on the head, you'll have the same experiences. How can you call little sprinkling of colors and lights a spiritual experience? Spiritual experience is when you realize what the spirit is, what the soul is, or who you are. That's a spiritual experience. Spiritual experience doesn't come so easily. We have trapped ourselves by becoming a slave of the mind, slave of our sense perceptions, slave of our own body, and just following what these equipments need, forgetting that they were meant for our use and not that they are supposed to be using us. And that is the trouble that we have to get out of. That is the situation we have created from which we have to get out. It takes time. We are placed in a pralabdha, in a destiny which is made up of time and space. Everything flows in time. All the events are designed to take place in time. Every event is placed in time. Our time to become a seeker is also pre-written on that timeline. Our time to work on it and move forward also written on that timeline. When we will get out, also written on the timeline. All pre-arranged. By being anxious about it, it doesn't change the timeline. But anxiety can be felt. By crying loudly, I want it right now, it doesn't make any difference. Timeline is set. I receive emails. I want the radiant form ASAP. And I say, well, you didn't have anything ASAP earlier when you got involved in this world. You got more and more, deeper and deeper into this. You were enjoying your time in your true home as souls amongst other souls. You were having great bliss and joy. Decided to have more experiences. Generated the experience of time and space. Came into events spread out over so much time of billions of cosmic years. You came into this world and spread yourself out in so much time. You didn't say, I want this ASAP. When you want to get out of it, take your time. Not too much time. If you have been here for 1 million lives, one life is not too much time. It's 1/1,000,000th of what you already spent. Therefore, they do not think it's a matter of 1 day, 2 days. It is a matter of several lifetimes. When we say we are seekers, the seeking has not come overnight. It has a history behind it. And you yourself know it. That history goes back how you had certain feelings when you were children. How as a child one can feel certain things. And then because the child growing up among the adults, we shut them down. They grow up and gradually the seeking comes back again. And again we shut it down thinking that the real obligations of the pralabdha destiny created here are more important. We put our seeking behind and go out into the experiences outside as more important. That is why it takes time. We have determined the time, not anybody else. We have decided to spread our attention like this into an experience and got attached to the elements of that experience, attached to objects, attached to people, and now we want to pull ourselves up. It takes time. Don't be in a hurry. And if you have done a lot of work in past lives, that you are ready to go back now, even then I say, you are so used to this reality that going back quickly gives the feeling this reality is going to end, so I will end. Why go into that experience of fear and fright? Not necessary. So go step by step, slowly, every day, one step more. People say, it's very difficult to meditate 2.5 hours. We can't stay 2.5 hours. I said, start with 5 minutes. That's a much less time. 5 minutes of meditation, start with 5 minutes, next day 6 minutes, the next day 7 minutes. 1 minute is not difficult to add. 5 minutes is not difficult to start. If you do that, you will be fine. Soon find you are doing 2.5 hours. It's the way I approach. The mind tries to find excuses not to do something that will destroy its own stature, its own influence on the self. Therefore, the mind will find excuses of all kinds. If you have forgotten something, meditate, you'll start remembering it. The mind is so clever. We have given it life to become even more clever. Mind has no life of its own. The soul gives life to mind. We have given life to mind so we can use it. It is like a computer, we have plugged the power in to make use of it. That's it. We have given life from our spirit or soul, which is consciousness, which is life, and made it work, and is working fine. But instead of using it, we forgot ourselves and began to think that the machine, the equipment, this mind that we have, the thinking machine, is ourself. Constantly saying, I think so, I think so. That was not the truth. Soul never thinks. Not necessary. If you want to think, use the mind. That's exactly what we do. The correct statement would be, I am using the mind to think. The self is using the mind to think or act or rationalize or speak or write or whatever. It's just a useful thing. But to make the mind our master and our becoming slaves is not the right way. Even to live here. It was not designed that we should live here like that. But the design of this universe is far more complicated than merely our coming to have an experience. When we create a universe, we create it much bigger than ourselves. We make ourselves small, universe big. We make ourselves very small creatures and make the universe big without realizing we are making the universe. The big universe has great, wonderful elements in it. The grandeur of space, infinite space. The more you look back into the time and therefore deep into space, the more life and more galaxies you find. The deeper you go into the inside of an atom, inside of a particle, the more wonderful thing you find there. A universe made of matter, created by us, is so fascinating. Who are we? We shut ourselves in the creative power and sitting outside with all these covers upon ourselves are become mere observers and living in a state where everything is wonderful and we are not. And everything wonderful is coming from out of us. Great Master and perfect living Master, at least come and tell us that if you go within, you will find the secret of the creation of the universe. Otherwise, you are small, very small observers living in a universe that's existed forever, and you are living only for a short time. This misidentification of the self with our body is limiting our view, limiting our capacity. And therefore, we have to go beyond this. The perfect living Master's teachings are simple. The self, totality of consciousness, the biggest creative power, which can be conscious of anything, unlimited capacity, is conscious of whatever it wants to be conscious, and it's called creation. It's simple. The creation is being created outside of the consciousness, if the word outside can be understood not in terms of a spatial outside, but outside of the active consciousness. Totality consciousness is not in space and time. So the word outside does not really mean what it means over here, but still I have to use the word that consciousness sits inside whatever it creates. So it creates around itself. Let's come down to space and time. after the consciousness has created around itself things like space and time, and a mind that functions in space and time, everything thereafter is also created outside of itself. The whole creation is outside, going further away from the origin. The nature of this creation is that it's all moving away from the origin. The scientists are also puzzled a little bit that Big Bang created this universe we are living in. That's their statement. They've been believing till now, they will not believe after some years. You will find out. If it was a Big Bang from a singularity, from a point, obviously that point should be somewhere. A Big Bang and an expanding universe started and went on expanding. The very thing the mystics say, that consciousness expands into experiences all around it. They say a very similar thing. But where do they say is the singularity from which it expanded? When they observe this universe from any point on this earth, the expansion is all around the universe, all around this earth. Is earth then the central point from where the whole world originated? Just one planet in a small, very small solar area, very small star compared to all the other stars which are huge compared to this. We are the origin. This earth is the origin of this whole universe. No, but they have tested out. Is California on one end of this planet or the East Tokyo on the other end? From where are they expanding? They found it's expanding from both points equally. Makes it very difficult to know where is the origin of all that we are experiencing outside. They till today can't determine where the singularity is. Vague statements, maybe singularity spread out itself and that's expanding, means nothing. If they really understood that this experience of a universe is expanding, they would know for each individual with consciousness is expanding from within this body, within this head, right in the center. And all the rest is created. Only one exists, and the many are part of the creation. But this requires deep movement of attention in a totally different direction. Science moves outwards to examine what is observed. They don't observe the observer. They don't go to the observer. If they were to go to the observer, they would find the center from where the origin of the universe is taking place. And imagine that we have this capability today, that we can find the center of the origin of our experiences. Each one of us who are now experiencing separation, individuation, different locations, so well separated, we can travel even far away from here. All this is happening with one location. And that is available to us behind the eyes, in the center of the head. It's amazing how simple the structure is. Yet, unless we go in the right direction, we can't know the truth. We go outward because the creation has gone outward. We don't go inward. Real meditation to discover these secrets, as revealed by great master, is to go inward. Go within. They have heard this phrase many times from many people. Go within. But they haven't understood. Go within where? Inside the head? First reaction, if somebody says, go inside your head, how can I go inside my head? I have to go where I can see where I am going. I can't see a thing inside my head. And if we say, well, you close your eyes so you don't see outside, and then see, I close my eyes, I see nothing but darkness. How can darkness carry any truth? Therefore, we reject outright the whole idea of what it means to go within. Then we can tell them, look carefully. If you close your eyes, sit in a completely dark room, there's nothing pulling you from outside, not even the reflection of light on your eyelids giving you a pinkish color. Remove everything, go into total darkness and see if you can see anything. I can't see anything. Can you imagine something? Yes, I can imagine. Okay, then you are seeing. If you are imagining something, you are seeing. No, but that is imaginary. I can't be leaving the reality outside to look at something imaginary. And there we shut off. There are so many steps at which we shut ourselves off from knowing our reality, even after listening to the words, go within. But then the question can be asked, do you know where imagination comes from? Have you ever examined where your imagination comes from? What can you imagine? Oh, I can imagine people, I can imagine things, I can imagine some new things also. Can you imagine something you have never seen? Of course, it's imaginary, I can imagine those things also. If you have never seen something, how can you imagine that? If something does not exist outside in your experience, how can you imagine that? Don't you see there's some other source that you have to imagine things that you can't even see, don't exist outside? If you can imagine something that doesn't even exist outside, totally something new, where does it come from? Why not examine that? Stay with the imagination and try to understand where imagination comes from. Understand how are you seeing things in imagination? Are you seeing things with the same sense perceptions with which you see things outside or different? Now, outside is seeing is easy. I can open my eyes and see, close my eyes and not see. I say, can you try that inside also? Well, I have never tried that before. I can. When you try to close your eyes inside, it's a new experience altogether. You realize that what you thought was imagination is actually an experience going on to a body you have with eyes inside which can be closed. Most people don't have the experience. They didn't even try. If you have a self inside where you can close your eyes, open your eyes, with these eyes closed, what does it mean? Do you have hands there with which you can pick up things? Yes, we can. It's imagination. Can you walk about there? Can you fly there? Yes, because there is all imagination. There's no weight in the body. But is the experience of flying there, moving around there, with your sense perceptions or with something else? No, sense perceptions look the same like these that I use outside. Okay, why not use those sense perceptions and create an activity of seeing things you have never seen before? How about knowing, is the one that is imagining things the same person, the same being who was seeing outside, or different? No, the person is the same, it's me. I'm imagining, not somebody else. Okay, if the person is the same, that means you have another form in which you imagine. Have you ever examined what that form consists of? You are experiencing it, you are explaining it, but you are rejecting just by one word. It is imaginary, not real. This is real. This is real, that's imaginary. Therefore, you are rejecting it. What happens if you were to dwell in that imaginary self and start remembering things. Will you remember things with your eyes closed and sitting in imaginative self with your body, imaginary body with inner eyes that are also closed, trying to remember something? Yes, you can remember some things. With my eyes open, I can remember things. With my eyes closed, I can remember things. The inner eyes closed, I have never tried. But I can try. Anyone can try. You can try. If you try and start remembering things, what happened, that is the most amazing experience with this simple exercise. The simplest exercise of using imagination to go within and remembering what you can remember, not sitting in this body, but sitting temporarily in the body that you just created by imagination. The same self in the same imaginary body is remembering things that this body, sitting in this body, we could not remember. Because we are now remembering things that are related to that imagination, that form, and not this physical world. When you are confined to the physical body, you only confine yourself deliberately to remember what happened to this body. When I was a child, this body, physical. What happened yesterday to this physical body? But when you are sitting inside and saying it's imaginary and start imagining, you're not imagining what happened to this physical body. You're imagining what happened to your imaginary body. Can imagination go so deep that you can remember clearly what happened 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 500 years ago? That comes up. Any one of you can try. We do not realize that what we call imaginary is purely based upon the fact that we have mistakenly thought this is the only reality. This is not more real than that imaginary self. In fact, the imaginary self is more real than this. Only one step is needed, and I'll tell you that also. Supposing I were to ask you, while you're sitting in the chair there, please imagine that you have left the chair and come and are standing next to me. How many of you can do it? Many of you can do this. It's not difficult. If I say, imagine you are standing here and looking back at the audience, how many of you can do that? Little fewer, but many of you can do that. If you are standing here and looking there, how much of you feels you are still there? How much of it is here? 90%, 95% there, 5% here. That's how imagination works. You're stretching yourself in imagination to another location and still thinking, I am here, but I'm imagining I'm there. If you start saying, I am there and not here, you will increase the percentage of your presence here, reduce the presence here. Supposing you cross 50% of your imagination of standing here, you will be standing here and seeing an imaginary self sitting there. It's as simple as that. It's all a matter of how much attention we have placed upon experience to make it real. It's a great reality. It's a great truth that we are having experiences which we build our reality upon. And when we say it's imaginary, we are saying it because we can't get out of this feeling of this is the only reality. If you can withdraw attention, and I said shifting 50%, nothing more than withdrawing attention. If you can withdraw your attention more than 50% to the imaginary self in your head, that will become real, this will become unreal. You can try it out. You will notice that the concept of reality is very relative. It all depends on where our attention is. When we have scattered our attention, not only in the reality of this body being the only real body, but also all other bodies are equally real, that the world is more real than any thought you can have, any imagination you can have. When it's scattered so much, it takes time to withdraw 50% of it within yourself. That's the time taken in good meditation. This is step one. The very beginning to understand that the experiences we have are generated from consciousness. This conscious experience of any kind is happening from within ourselves. Going within further, the process is the same. Withdraw your attention further within whatever you think is yourself. It's amazing that we always have a notional body of ourselves. Right now, the body is a physical body around us. It's the head we are carrying, the rest of the body we are carrying. When we are imagining, we have an imaginary body, but we are still in the head of that body. When we go to sleep and dream, the dream body is running around everywhere. We are still at the head of the dream body, never anywhere else. You will notice, if you want to know where the self is, yourself, from where you think, from where you decide, from where you operate, it's always in the head of any form that you can make up, whether in your imagination or in a dream or in the physical world. It's a great indication how the forms have been set up. And why it's useful? Because if that is the way the form is set up at every level, that you have a head and a body. Supposing you have no body, you will still have a head. In the causal plane, the body disappears. It's not necessary, because sense perception disappears. Single perception remains, combining all perceptions. It's very difficult to just understand it here, but you can experience it here. When you experience, you are still in the center of whatever you consider is your form. Supposing you are formless, which can also be experienced. Some people experience these things in their meditation. If they are formless, in the formlessness, you are in the center. If it's any shape, you are in the higher part. It's amazing how this structure has been made so that it makes easy for us when we are sitting in physical bodies to practice the art of going within ourselves, to place our attention within. Great Master used to explain again and again, you must put your attention in as if you are inside, not that you are trying to see what is inside. Supposing I am sitting here and I say I want to see what is inside, I will remain in this body. I am trying to use my intellect, use my thoughts, use my imagination, use everything. What is inside? He said, this physical head will always be my head. This body will always be my body, no matter how hard I try. When we start meditating by sitting in this body and saying, let me see what's happening in third eye center in the head, let me find out what's happening. We remain in the body. Because that's from where you are trying to put your attention on. That is not meditation, according to Great Master. The meditation he suggests is that you place yourself behind the eyes. If you are sitting on a chair, imagine, because that's the only instrument we have of going within at this time. We have other instruments later, but this is the only instrument we have at this time. Imagine you are inside, not that you are looking for what is inside, but this whole body, sitting in the chair, has moved upwards and gone into the head. And this has become a hollow shell on which you have moved up and you are now sitting there. If you can do that, your meditation will become very simple. Very important part, that you should be able to be there. I had problem even understanding how one can sit inside. I would say I was young when I got initiated. So I didn't fully understand everything, all the concepts of what is behind all this. So I would ask Great Master, Master, you say that imagine the whole of you have gone into this space. Master, whole of me is big. Space is small. How can you go in? Simple child's question. And he said, you may be big here. The space there can hold you much bigger also. If you imagine you are there, then the boundary of the head goes away. You are in a state of darkness with your eyes closed, and when you look at the darkness and you forget how big the head is, it is as big as you want to make it. In the darkness, you can make the head grow, you can have a big garden. Imagination. Big garden in front of you. All the flowers are growing. And you can see either side. See how far the fields are. Then you can see houses beyond them. Then you can see the moon and star above you. You can see the whole universe in this little space. So long as we are using the medium, first step medium of imagination, you imagine anything. When you imagine that, this body is nothing to fit in there. I still couldn't understand. I said, Master, very difficult for me to feel that this whole body can go fit in here, even after imagination. Then he told me, he did a little experiment with me. I still remember very clearly. He said, raise your finger like this and raise it above your head so that you can't see it. I did it like this. Can you imagine you are sitting, the whole of you sitting on top of that body? That I can imagine. Just like so many of you could imagine the whole of you standing here. I could imagine the whole of me sitting there. They're not big things. Big. There's a lot of space there to sit. Then I can sit with the whole space there. I am as big as I was in the physical body, and I'm sitting up there. He said, now lower your finger. Are you still sitting on it? Still sitting on it. Keep it lower and lower. Bring it close to your eyes. Now are you still sitting there? Yes. Jump in. I jumped in. I was there. Very simple thing he explained to me. That when your imagination is jumping in here, the space expands. It's not the head anymore. Your eyes are closed. The space is unlimited. It's not a big problem at all. So when we say that you imagine you are sitting behind the eyes, it is not to imagine that you are sitting in a chair. Now how will I imagine make myself there, and I make a small little bit of myself and say, there I am sitting, I can see myself sitting there. So many people have made this mistake and come to me after years of meditation that we can imagine ourselves there, sitting there. We look at that, we make the person moving around. I said, do you realize what you can see cannot be you? You can't see your own eyes, except a reflection in the mirror. Nobody can see their own eyes. Neither with these eyes, nor inner eyes, or any eyes. To say you can see yourself is making a picture of yourself. Who are you then? You are the one who is seeing that image, not the image. We spend so much time, lose our time in meditation, imagining ourselves a little being sitting there, constantly thinking we are sitting in this body. How will you withdraw your attention? Therefore, first step, most important step. Great Master said, do not start your Simran repetition or trying to listen to the sound till you have settled yourself behind the eyes at the third eye center and you feel you are there. What do? We close our eyes, sit in our comfortable place, start repeating the words and wonder when light will come and sound will come. It doesn't come. We have not put our attention there. And when we start imagining little self of ours sitting there, even that I've explained to people, is not inside. It's not behind the eyes. You cannot imagine something behind the eyes if you make a separate image of yourself. The image you make with sitting in the physical body with your eyes closed is right in front of you outside. You are still trying to see that image with these eyes which are closed, so it's imaginary. I give a simple exercise for that. Close your eyes and imagine little being of yours sitting inside. When your eyes are closed and you want to touch your eyes, you know bodily awareness lets you know where the eyes are. With eyes closed, you can touch your eyes anytime you like this. You don't have to open your eyes to touch your eyes. With your eyes closed, you can touch your eyes. All right? Now, after you make that image, which you think is inside, bring your hand slowly towards your eyes. When you bring them slowly towards your eyes, you will notice you will cross that image before you touch your eyes. So where was the image? Outside. You can test it out. When we are conscious only of a physical body, our imagination to create an image is outside. But we can imagine we are sitting inside by pulling the whole of ourselves up in the space between the ears and behind the eyes. We can be conscious to start with that we have a head, and when we begin to think like that, head has no dimension. It's not small. When we look from outside, it's small. When we close our eyes and we see the space around, it's unlimited space. This self can fit very easily. The whole crowd can fit in there. Imagination is so wonderful. You have tried it out. You can put the whole stuff inside. You can definitely put yourself behind the eyes, between the ears, and then start meditation. Not before that. Any kind of meditation. If you want success. I am sharing these things after lifelong experience of trying to practice meditation with several successes and several failures. It's good for me. I am using this opportunity with Great Master's permission and his orders to share these things with you, to help you. Because you are all seekers who have come here. You have not come here for nothing. You come here to make progress within your own self. And I am only sharing that which came in my way as obstacles and how they were resolved by Great Master. I hope they will help you. One other important thing I want to share with you. Very important. People say that for many years we have been meditating and didn't have any inner experience. That is not true. If you had no inner experience, you would not be here today. What has brought you here? Several years of no experience bring you here. One runs away if there is no experience. If there is nothing happening, you wouldn't come here. Why do you feel the pull from a master when you go to a master? What's taking you there with no experience? Is it blind faith? Masters say, don't have blind faith. And with no experience, you are running to the master. Are you not practicing blind faith? How do you account for it? How is it possible that you have no experience at all and yet you are thinking that, yes, I want to go and see the master, I want to have darshan, I feel blessed, I feel something. We all used to feel like that, all disciples of Great Master, without experience. How does that happen? That we can feel so pulled and run for darshan of a master, run to have the presence of master, get blessings from master, and no experience to justify it. The truth is very different. The truth is we cannot feel love for master if there is no experience. We cannot miss the master and cannot have that feeling, I miss the master, want to go see if there is no experience. The experiences are taking place inside, not physically. Without experience, this feeling, this seeking, the expression of seeking, of missing somebody or going there does not come. I tell you a very classic example. great master's own master, Baba Jaimal Singh. Baba Jaimal Singh missed his master so much, and he wrote a letter to him. He said, "Beloved master, I am missing you so much. Please give me an opportunity to come and see you. Give me permission to come and have your darshan." He was living in Punjab. His master was living in Uttar Pradesh at a distance of several hundred miles. It was not easy to travel in those days. Even the mail took a long time. Sometimes letters took almost a month to be delivered. I don't know how they were carried by people or what. He wrote that letter and sent it to his master. After another month of waiting, the reply came from master. "My beloved son Jaimal Singh, I am happy to receive your letter and to know that your soul is wandering around, roaming around in higher regions." He read the letter. He said, "My soul is roaming around nowhere. I am having no experience at all. What is this master talking about? Oh, this letter must be for somebody else. Mailed to me by mistake." So he wrote again. "Beloved master, you sent me a letter saying that my soul is roaming in higher regions. It is roaming nowhere. I am having no experience. All I wrote to you was, I am missing you so much. I just want to come and have your darshan. Please give me a date and time when I can come." Month of waiting, another reply comes from Swamiji, his master. "Beloved son Jaimal Singh, I am very happy to receive your second letter and to know that your soul is roaming around in higher regions and making progress there." Puzzled by the two letters, Baba Jaimal Singh took those letters with him. Of course, Swamiji wrote, "So far as coming to see me is concerned, come in the first week of next month." Next month, in the first week, he carried those two letters and went to Swamiji in Agra, Uttar Pradesh. And he placed those letters in front of him. "Master, I don't understand how you wrote to me that my soul is roaming around in higher regions when I have had no experience. I was just missing you. I just wanted to come and see you." And his master laughed and said, "Let us go inside the chamber for a little while." 10, 12 people were sitting there outside. So Baba Jaimal Singh and his master went inside the little hut, spent maybe half an hour, came out. And he said, "Tell me now, Jaimal Singh, when I wrote that letter, was your soul roaming around in the higher regions or not?" He said, "Yes, master, it was." "I am not asking you if the soul was roaming around when we went inside the chamber. I am asking, a few months back, when I wrote the letter, was your soul roaming around at that time or not?" He said, "Yes, master, my soul was in higher regions experiencing it at that time." Nobody could understand what they're talking. So Swamiji turned to the 10 or 12 people sitting there and explained. He says, our pralabdha, our destiny creates obligations for us to deal with the world as a reality. Therefore, the spiritual path is not merely of what you see as you go along. The spiritual path is to keep on making progress inside while your blinders are put on your eyes, so you don't see what's happening inside, but you have to carry on the obligations of your pralabdha, your destiny here. Therefore, you cannot have a feeling, he explained, of missing your master, wanting to be with him, if no progress is being made inside. But when your obligations, which are creating the need for creating reality for you outside, are fulfilled, at a certain time, you'll be able to look back and see the very time when you were missing your master was the time when you were making progress inside. This incident was related to me by great master, related in a discourse satsang. Apart from that, in private conversation, he also explained to me further. He explained to me, the great master, that the issue of seeing things is not very important, because we see things, and when we come back to this reality, no matter how real that was, if you have to make this reality, it looks dreamlike. Many people who have that experience of an inner stage, astral stage, causal stage, even higher stage, when they have that experience, they know it's absolutely real, more real than the physical. They know it very clearly, without a doubt. Because it's a very shift of going within to a higher self on which the body is merely a cover. You discover that. When you come back, because you are not staying there, it's not an end of the journey. You are still carrying on your obligations in a physical body. When you come back out of what you call meditation, this body is real, this world is real, then what was the experience like? If this is real, what was that? Very lucid dream, very real. Looked so more real, but must be a dream. Maybe I had a dream like that. How can a real experience look like a dream? That's what Great Master explained, because when we are back in the body, we are starting from here. We are having an experience, but the reality of the body into which we are returning is maintained. So we can back in consciousness to the body awareness, and that looks like a dream. Not only that, 99.9% time, we will forget it. Just like other dreams we have at the lower level. Very important point. Every night we all dream. How many of the dreams do we remember? Some people say, I never dream. But if you go and put a camera on yourself, and the rapid eye movement starts in the middle of the night, and you are woken up, you will tell exactly what you're dreaming. Then you're made to go to sleep. In the morning, you had no dream. You can play the tape. You said this thing in the middle of the night. I don't remember at all. According to the statistics that people have had now in sleep institutes, in 1962, I came to study at Harvard University, and there was also a sleep institute functioning in Boston. I enrolled in that just to see what are dreams, what is the nature of sleep, why do we sleep, what is the relationship of the physical body, does it move when we have dreaming, does it remain connected with the dream sequences? So many questions were there, and it was a big subject in those days. So I studied and I watched the people being put to sleep with cameras, electrodes, everything to study what happens when you're dreaming and how real the dreams become. So we find after every 12-15 minutes, a dream sequence will take place for a few minutes and then go off. Rapid eye movement was the indication. Rapid eye movement also, when the eyes moved like this rapidly, you could see them on the front of the eyelid. When that happened like that, the camera would catch it. We would wake up the patient. We would wake up the subject there. What were you watching? Oh, I was watching a waterfall, a big waterfall. The sequence in the dream was moving vertically. Somebody was having a rapid eye movement this way, horizontally. We wake up. What were you seeing? I was seeing a tennis match. See, then all go there. So the eyes are physical eyes, are responding to the dream sequence. Then people would move their arms suddenly. Then what was happening? I was fighting with somebody. This body's connection with what is being generated as an unreal dream sequence in us remains connected like that. But when we wake up in the morning, it disappears. The scientists have found out that 99.99% of dreams disappear within 30 seconds of waking up. And many of them are so fast, we can't remember them. Except certain dreams which are either highly traumatic or highly pleasing, and they can stay for a little while longer. But the withdrawal of memory of the dream is very rapid. So is the withdrawal of an experience of a higher type, because we are back here in the same body. I am making this thing so clear to you. Do not think you are making no progress just because there is no spectacle to see. Things happen within you, making you feel you want to go and have darshan of a master. You want to go and see, be in his presence. It makes a difference. You feel the blessing. You feel something. It can't happen with nothing. Something is happening which is called spiritual progress. One day you will find out, when you are ready, based upon the karma you are carrying, based upon the pralabdha you are carrying, how much progress you made at what time. It's amazing. But this truth is not known to many people. They feel we need to have proof right now. Who is asking for that proof? Is the soul asking for that proof? Of course not. Soul is making progress. Then who is asking for that proof? Our mind. Mind says, I don't believe it. I can't believe. I have doubts. I am making no progress. I don't see anything. This is a nature of the mind, to create doubts. But in spite of these doubts, we still keep on making progress. And that is why it's not blind faith on which a person comes to a master. It's faith based upon an experience happening inside. There is some reflection of that inner experience which we cannot see in an outward life which we can see. Like I said on the first day, when we come and we want to find a parking space, parking lot is full, one car pulls out, thank you, Master. Did Master come to find the space for you? How are you thanking him? What is making you thank him? What is making you connect that simple, small physical event with the Master? Something has happened. So when progress takes place inside, these so-called coincidences which give you a chance to thank Master keep on increasing. If these things are happening in your life, inner progress is also taking place. And one day you'll see it, all of it. We are bound down in a physical life with our karma, with our pralabdha, with our destiny. And the destiny creates obligations to pay off our debts. We have to pay off our debts. Everybody does it. If we did not have any debts to pay off, we wouldn't even have a body. This body is made up of the debts we have to pay off. In Hindi they say, pralabdha pehle bane, pache bana sharir. The whole destiny is completely made up of a lifetime before the body is conceived in the mother's womb. So this is such an important factor of constituting a body. The shape of the body, from its embryonic state to its birth, is all being built up on the destiny. What shape the body is taking within the mother's womb is being guided by destiny made before it is even born. After birth, everything that happens is based upon that pre-written destiny. If we don't have the ups and downs, we will not have a human body. If all our karma in the past was very good, we did all good things in order to be a good person, in order to be a so-called spiritual person, we'll end up in heaven. In the lower part of the astral plane, you can go and see heaven. There are many heavens existing there. You go to one of them, depending upon the type of heavens that is in your mind as a definition of heaven. That's how it comes up. If you are doing all bad things, who cares? Life is short. Do whatever you like. You can end up in hell. There are hells, several of them. In the lower part of the astral state, you can go and examine them. People go and see them. The point is, it's only when you have been good and bad. It's only when you have high and low, you get a human body. I had a friend, an American doctor, surgeon, Dr. Julian Johnson. He came from the United States to India as a missionary from a church organization to convert people to Christianity. And he was doing that in Calcutta, now called Kolkata. That city, Mother Teresa was there. Many people have worked in that area, and Dr. Julian Johnson was also there converting people to spirituality. But two of his friends in the United States had told him, if you get a chance, please go and see the great master. He lives in a dera in Bias. So he was curious. What is the great master? Who is he? Is he a good priest? Does he know more than we people who are giving sermons to people and converting them? So he wrote a letter to Great Master that I have been informed by my friends that you are a spiritual teacher and I would like to see you, because they seem to be thinking very highly of you. They think I'll get something by coming to you. So I am a Christian missionary and a doctor. I'm currently working on an assignment in Calcutta. Great Masters wrote through his secretary that, dear Dr. Johnson, you are most welcome. You come by train. There is a non-stop train that comes from Calcutta, and it runs all the way. The Calcutta mail comes all the way to Amritsar, a town little beyond the Dera, and also stops at Jalandhar cantonment just 25 miles before the Dera. It does not stop at Bias station where the Dera is located. You can come and stop at the first station, Jalandhar, and one of my representatives will meet you there, and then he will bring you to the Dera. I'll be very happy to meet you. The first letter he received. And Julian Johnson travelled all the way, and Great Master asked an attorney friend of his, a lawyer, Bhagat Singh, who lived in Jalandhar camp, whose house was almost next to the railroad station. He said, Bhagat Singh, this American doctor is coming, and can you receive him at the station? There are not too many white people coming. You would immediately recognize him. He said, yes, Master, I will receive him. So he also confirmed that when you come, Dr. Johnson, I'll be at the station and I will recognize you, and so I'll take you to the Master. After these letters are gone, Great Master says, Bhagat Singh, let's play a little trick on this Dr. Johnson. People don't think of masters like that. Masters can be very playful. I can tell you from my own experience. He said, Bhagat Singh, before the train lands there, I will come from the Dera and hide in your house. I will hide in your living room. When Julian Johnson comes, he will say, let's go see the Master. You say, what's the hurry? Come to my house and have a cup of tea. You have had a long journey and a cup of tea will refresh you. He will say, no. This is Great Master telling Bhagat Singh. He will say, no, I am in a hurry to see Master. I have not come for tea. You insist to take him to your house. He will get very irritated. When you bring him to your house, you say, Dr. Johnson, I have a surprise for you. And you bring him to see me in the living room. That's precisely what happened. Julian Johnson landed at the station. Bhagat Singh received him. He said, Dr. Johnson, welcome. I am Bhagat Singh, sent by Great Master to receive you. And it's a 25-mile journey to the Dera. It takes a little while. You had a long journey. I'll take you to my house just next door. We'll have a cup of tea and relax and go to the dera. And Julian Johnson said, I have not come for tea. If you excuse me, I'd like to go and see the great master as quickly as I can. Bhagat Singh said, what's the hurry? Don't be in a hurry. Julian Johnson got a little angry and irritated. I'm telling you, I'm not interested in tea. No, come along. And an irritated Julian Johnson arrives in Bhagat Singh's house. There, Bhagat Singh says, Dr. Johnson, I have a surprise for you. Come inside. He takes him inside, and great master sitting there. And Julian Johnson is so struck by what happened. This preparation he did to irritate him must have also worked to give a bigger surprise to him. And he came there. He said, welcome, Julian Johnson. Come and have a seat. Julian Johnson said, Master, you came all the way to see me here. And Master says, you came from America to see me. I only came 25 miles. Julian Johnson sat there, speechless. He could not know what to say. He did not know what to ask. He spent looking at the master. Who is this man? What is he doing to me? Why am I feeling like this? All these things were going through his mind. He thanked the master, and they both came to Dera. And he had brought a typewriter with him, old kind of typewriter. And he wrote a letter to his friends in America that night. He says, he gives this whole incident of what happened. Says, what I have received today in a couple of hours in the presence of this great master, if I get nothing more, I'll be satisfied. I came and got what I wanted. He never heard any discourses. He did not get initiated. He didn't have anything except that little time that he spent with the master. What happened? Where did it come from? He didn't know at that time at all. But then he got initiated. And I was a young boy at that time, but I went to an English-speaking school, so I could speak English fluently, and the others could not. So I became a good interpreter for him and also a friend of his. So we would go around various places. I would explain things to him. Especially, we would go out. A great master used to go to the river bank. They would also walk together and share information. Sometimes only Julian Johnson and I would walk and share experiences. Lot of experiences. He had the experience in meditation. He did a lot of meditation. He found that there was a group of people there in the Dera called sadhus. Sadhus had renounced everything and said, we only want to do meditation now. So they had a small little colony, and he went to the sadhus and said, why are you giving up the rest of life? They said, we have lived our life, and we think our life is now meditation and go back to our true home. And we have been initiated by this great master, and that's all we do. Where do you meditate? They said, we have dug some caves on the bluff of the river Byas, and we have made our own caves, and many of us go to the caves. Sometimes in turn, sometimes we go together. Some of us meditate in the center here. He said, does the cave help you? Digging a cave on the ground, does it help meditation? They said, it does help. It helps in listening to the sound better, because it really blocks the outside sound better. Outside sound is a distraction. Also, when we close the cave, shut it down, the darkness is good for seeing inner lights. So it does help. Julian Johnson dug a cave there. He made a better cave than those people, and he would put a little mat there, and also took a wooden door and put a wooden door to close the cave. And he would meditate there. Once in a while, I also got a chance to meditate in Julian Johnson's cave. He had great experiences. One experience which he noticed was that he can, in the inner stage, recall his past lives. He recalled one life after another, went all the way to the Stone Age. And there he got frightened when he saw in the Stone Age he had picked up his own son by getting angry and was going to throw him into a well and blow him up. He said, no more, I don't want to see old previous lives. And then he remembered in which life he had to pay off for that. Then he remembered what work he had done to become a missionary in the first place, to think of God and then to find a perfect master was done in a previous life. All these lives he saw. He shared all these things with me as a little child. I took them as very normal. I said, everybody must be getting the same thing. No, he was unique. He was unique in many experiences. Then he would go to Great Master, say, Master, please help my friend there. His wife is suffering and very sick. Please help. Give your blessings and grace. She can feel better. Great Master would say, I will talk to my master, Baba Jamal Singh, and help him. After a few days, he told me, I've been making a big mistake. I now realize that the ups and downs, the health and sickness, the accidents that happen, they are the ones that created our human life. I am asking for Great Master to stop and change destinies of people. I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. I realize that human life is like a platter of high and lows. If I mess up with the platter, I won't be here. And if I am not here, I would never meet Great Master. I can never forget that conversation with Julian Johnson. It's good to know that we are human beings because we are a mixture of karma. Our destiny to make us human being comes only with a mixture of karma. Therefore, we should be very strong and cope up with this mixture of karma, pay off our debts, receive the goodies that we have to and pay off where we need to. And take it like that. If something happens, somebody steals your money, thank you, paid you back. Not catch him. Very difficult to do it. But if you are taking life really what it is, you will never feel bad at something that you think is bad. You will know you are paying off something created by you according to the law of karma in this world. Nobody else creates your life. Nobody else has created this life of yours. Don't blame God. God, why you gave me this life? Don't blame Master. Master, why have you given me bad karma? We created under the law of cause and effect in which we come into this physical world. We created. And therefore, be very strong and cheerfully pay off your debts. Clear it up. Masters clear it up. Great Master had accidents, broke his leg, went through pain, had cancer of the prostate, got treatment and died. He didn't say, oh Master, Babaji, help me. When he had intense pain, he would go to Master. And Master would give him words of consolation, tell him what to do to relieve the pain, make him stronger to cope up with it. Master do that. But the event, which is the karma, takes place. So that is why don't always think, oh, this is bad, this is good. The combination has given us the opportunity to become human beings, has given us the opportunity to become seekers, has given us the opportunity to find perfect living masters. It's so beautiful. If you look at life like that, you will look at everything differently. Therefore, Great Master was right in saying, you have to be a warrior. You have to be brave to be on this path, not one who wants to run away from life. If we run away from life, it's only a part of karmic pattern where we postpone what we owe and come again and again, again and again. Pay off the debts, finish it off, and go home. So that is why I'm sharing this information with you. It's very important. Be brave. be strong, and take the blessings of Great Master. Blessings will help you to be strong. Blessings will help you to cope up much better with the karma around you. Blessings will help you in your meditation. Blessings will help you in everything. So I am happy today that you came to join me in this Bhandara of Great Master Hazur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh. And it's a great opportunity for you to receive his blessings. Put your cups in the right direction. He is inside giving blessings. Don't look outside for it. It's all inside your own self. Thank you very much for joining me for this Bhandara. Great Master blessings with all of you.